Hey there. How you guys doing out there in the world? Um, Thought I'd just get back on here and start expressing some of my thoughts again. Keep in mind, guys, just my thoughts. I already have a lot of, I guess, historical data for you or any type of concrete facts for you when I give my opinions. It's just my thoughts off the top of my head. A lot of these are in the form of questions, though. And sometimes, in my mind, I'll get a question and then I start picturing all these different scenarios. So I just want to share them with you guys and see what you guys think. Anyway, my thought on this day is about, I guess, describing God in a general sense, right? When we think of God, a lot of times we think about, I guess, God just being here on our planet. Unless there's more than one God, if you believe that, then there's a different God for each planet that's out there in the solar system, what have you, right? But I believe in one God, so that means that He's everywhere for all things. Anyway, if you had to describe God, what would He look like? A lot of times, people, they even get that question, they think Jesus, right? I mean, I know Father Son is, I guess one, but even Jesus prayed to God, so there have to be two separate beings there, right? Okay, that's in the Bible. I know that would be true. Don't ask me where though. Um, but if I was to describe God, I had thought about this. I'm like, I have two scenarios, and I would really love anybody else's opinion on this. One is like air. Well, first of all, who was the first person to label air and really study it and give it a definition? Have you think of that person was? But no, seriously, think of him as air. We know air by name, right? But air don't have like a physical body. Air don't have any type of presence at all. It's totally invisible to us. The only way we know it to exist is like two ways I know of. One, we feel it. Some people, feel it hard. Now, let's take for example, I don't know, a hurricane or something. The wind is a lot stronger, so the air is a lot more impacting, right? Then there's some people in the dry desert. They don't get much air at all, but they still getting air to survive, right? You see what I mean? So there's different levels of air you're gonna get that affects you personally. But then you say, okay, air. I know the definition of air. I don't see it physically, so how do you prove it's there? Well, aside from you feeling it yourself, look at a tree and look at the leaves. Now, it's totally invisible, but you see those leaves moving with the wind and what have you, right? That air is there somehow affecting that tree in its own way. Now, funny enough, the way it affects that tree is not how it affects you and me, probably, but it's affecting that tree actually properly enough for that tree to survive for its duration. The same with us. It affects us for our duration here on this planet. Just a thought, open thought. Not much more to say on that. But I do have another scenario. What if God is energy, right? Energy, when you think about it, energy was here before us. Here, energy would be here after us. Everything, everything has energy. To a smallest compound, there's always going to be energy. You break a molecule up or atom up, there's still going to be energy in the inside in the smallest increments, right? But here's the part I bet you guys didn't know. Are you guys familiar with quantum physics at all? Anyone? I know it sounds like a big word and all that, but I'm not no scientist, nothing like that. But I just put it in the simplest form so I can describe it so that, the way I understand it, maybe it'll be simplified for you. Well, there was these scientists, right? It was like two or three of them. They had energy, I guess, an energy cell, whatever, in a microscope. Now, this is the funny thing about it. I don't know if it was a microscope that all of them could share and see the same thing. That's what I'm guessing that it was. It had to be, and this is why I'm going to say this. They all looked at the microscope, right? And they described what they saw. For example, one scientist saw, let's say, a cube with a yellow on the top, red on the sides, and it was square. Another one saw a round cube that was blue and white. Another one may have saw, another with different colors, put it that way. Well, now this is the funny part. One of the scientists took his eye off the energy cell. The energy cell changed to a whole different look. Like spikes and all this with a totally different color, like pink and green, right? When he came back to look at it, it turned right back to that the former color. Like I think it was like what I say, like red on sides and yellow on top, something like that. And this really kind of tripped them out because the energy was almost designed for to look a certain way in that person's eyes. So when you think about it from one point, yeah, the energy cell does have its own identity, or do it? Do we give the energy its own identity? Let's go back on a whole different page. You ever walk into a room and you were more excited than anyone else, and somehow you put a smile on other people's face? That's energy. Your positive energy affected their energy, that changed their energy to bring a smile up on their face. And that's just putting that energy cell in a bigger sense. You see? So, coming full circle, is that God? He was here before us, here after us. Everything has energy. Everything. I mean, outer space? No. As far as we know, every place that we can even imagine, anything we can imagine, concrete, insects, animals, what have you, have energy. But also, I guess there's air everywhere also. Maybe it's both. Maybe God is air and energy. I don't know. But then some of you guys may think God is a person. This guy in the sky who's looking down upon us like that. But I think he'd have a closer look if he was actually energy and or air as to the every detail of our life, right? Something to think about. I just wanted to pick your brain on that. Leave me a comment, guys. See, maybe you guys have a better definition, or maybe you guys even kind of agree with my point of view, which is I know a little bit out there and all over the place. But I hope you guys got the point. Anyway, just to let you guys know, I'm not going to be on here talking about religion or God all the time. I'm going to talk about a lot of other stuff on my mind. My mind goes a lot of different directions. Maybe something that'll bring some goodness to your day. Anyway, check in with me.